Human rights in Finland refers to freedom of speech, religion, association, and assembly as upheld in law and in practice. Individuals are guaranteed basic rights under the Constitution, by legislative acts, and in treaties relating to human rights ratified by the Finnish government. The Constitution provides for an independent judiciary. Finland has been ranked above average among the world's countries in democracy, press freedom, and human development. Amnesty International has expressed concern regarding some issues in Finland, such as alleged permitting of stopovers of CIA rendition flights, the imprisonment of objectors to military service, and societal discrimination against Romani people and members of other ethnic and linguistic minorities. Background. On 6 December 1917, Finland declared independence. Previously, Finland had been a part of Sweden and then an autonomous part of Russia. Justice system. Capital punishment. In peacetime, as an independent state, Finland's criminal justice system has never invoked the death penalty. In 1825, when Finland was an autonomous state under Russia, Tarvo Putkanen was executed. His was the last peacetime execution. In 1944, during World War II, the last wartime executions were carried out. Search and seizure. Under Finnish law, no court-ordered search warrant is required in order for police to conduct a search and seizure procedure. The European Court of Human Rights and the Finnish Parliamentary Deputy Ombudsman have been critical of improper search and seizure procedures used by the Finnish police. Freedom of speech. In April 2016, Finland's national broadcaster YLE became under pressure from the finance minister Alexander Stubb and tax authorities to hand over information related to the extensive Panama Papers data leak. This may jeopardize freedom of speech in Finland and the media access in any news related to corruption in Finland. Alexander Stubb has repeatedly expressed his willingness to forgive all financial crimes related to tax havens. Finland's tax authorities have threatened to secure search warrants to raid YLE's premises and journalists' homes in pursuit of the so-called Panama Papers. About a dozen Finnish lawyers or Finnish businesspersons have worked with Mossack Fonseca to build tax companies from 1990 to year 2015. Elections and civil contribution. In 1907, Finland adopted universal suffrage, making the nation one of the first to allow all adult citizens, regardless of wealth or gender, to vote and stand for election. Within the population, 3.6% are foreign residents. Since 1917, 2 general referendums have been held. The first was the Finnish Prohibition Referendum 1931 and the second, the Finnish European Union Membership Referendum 1994. Since 2012, citizens' initiatives have allowed citizens to request that the Parliament consider proposed legislation. A minimum of 50,000 supporters must sign a petition to allow the initiative to proceed. The first successful citizens' initiative was the banning of fur farming. Signatures supporting the initiative were received from 70,000 citizens in the designated time period. The second citizens' initiative was for equal marriage rights in 2013. Equality. Women's rights. After New Zealand and Australia, Finland was the third nation to allow women to vote. In 1907, Finland was the first nation to allow women to vote and to also compete in a parliamentary election. The first female minister elected to the Parliament of Finland was Minna Sillanpää. She served as the second Minister for Social Affairs in the 1926 to 1927 parliamentary term. Tarja Halonen, who served from 2000 to 2012, was the first female president of Finland. In 1878, in Porvoo, Charlotte Backman became the first female director of a post office. In 1886, Vera Hjalt opened a factory to manufacture her patented carpenter's bench. In 1903, she became the first woman in Finland to be made a trade inspector. She was required to end disputes and strikes. She worked to end discrimination against women in the workplace. Hjalt was a member of parliament for 10 years. Tekla Hultin was the first woman to receive a doctorate from the University of Helsinki. She went on to study in Russia and France and was a member of parliament for 15 years. Until 1926, Finnish women applying for public office had to apply for an exemption based on gender. In this respect, equality was not achieved until 1975. Finnish women may inherit and own property. Aurora Karamzin inherited her ex-husband, a Russian, Paul Demidov's estate. After the death of her second husband, Andrei Karamzin, Karamzin managed her property and industrial assets. She participated in social security work in Finland and in Russia and worked in education and health care. In 1867, she founded the Helsingin Diakonisaliitos. On the 6th of March 1988, the first women to become priests were ordained in Evangelical Lutheran Church of Finland. The first woman to become a bishop was elected in 2010. Each year, in Finland, up to 20 women are killed by the husbands or ex-husbands. Gender equality at work. The UN Human Rights Committee has expressed concern about gender inequality in Finnish working life. In 2013, the difference between salary received by men and that received by women, for the same work, was 8%. Employers provided more training for men, while women applied for training in greater numbers than men. Finnish law calls upon companies with more than 30 employees to have a gender equality plan. In August 2013, many companies neglected to obey this law. However, the law was poorly enforced. Children's rights. Finland has ratified the Convention on the Rights of the Child. Having children work or beg is forbidden, as is any misuse of children. The number and backgrounds of teen prostitutes in Finland is not recorded. Buying or attempting to buy sex from a minor is a crime in Finland. Legal responsibility for the deed always lies with the buyer. Indigenous Rights. In February 2013, Finland had not signed the International Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous Peoples nor the Indigenous and Tribal Peoples Convention, 1989. In March 2014, Finland had not ratified the ILO Convention 169. Sauli Niinisto, the president of Finland, called the treaty irrelevant. However, the Sami people of Finland's north and Lapland have had no special rights, for example, inland rights for reindeer herding. In October 2011, the UN Human Rights Committee called for the cessation of the killing of reindeer in Nelimävalo. Reindeer owners and the Metsähallitus were in dispute over this matter. Military and civilian service. Finnish citizens undergo compulsory military service. Civilian service was 13 months in duration, whereas conscripts, such as conscript officers, non-commissioned officers and certain specialists such as certain vehicle operators served only 12 months. The average duration of service in the army is 18 months. The inequity was justified by the hours of work performed by each group. In 2008, the duration of civilian service was changed to 12 months. arms trade to undemocratic countries. In 2011, the government of Finland granted arms export licenses to 25 countries in contravention of European Union guidelines. In October 2011, the Finnish Ministry of Defense granted export licenses for the transport of sniper rifles and ammunition to Kazakhstan. Migrant workers. By 2011, Finland had not signed the United Nations Convention on the Protection of the Rights of All Migrant Workers and Members of the Families. Estonian workers, for example, may not have been paid for the work. Again, as an example, in December 2011, a Chinese restaurant in Idea Park Lempala was ordered to pay €298,000 for migrant workers' losses in tax, wages and penalties. In 2013, Lauri Ihalainen, the Minister for Labour, called for equality in the labour market. Olkiluoto nuclear power plant construction project. During the Olkiluoto nuclear power plant construction project, trade unions demanded equality in conditions for foreign workers. In November 2011, Polish migrant workers at Elektrobudauer disputed unpaid wages and trade union membership. The trade unions took the case to court. 32 people were fired for joining the trade union Sakoli Ito cases. In March 2013, Erkki Tuomioja, the Finnish foreign minister, joined other nations in calling for stricter observance of human rights in the European Union. In 2014, Finnwatch alleged several Finnish companies abroad had acted unethically. In January 2013, Open Society Foundations, a U.S. human rights organization, alleged that CIA flights had operated through via Finland in secret. The Amnesty organization supported the allegations. In 2014, Kalifactor, a Swedish television program, reported that Stora Enso used child work in its Pakistan activities and that the company was aware of this from 2012.